know, a lot of these cats, you know, look at that, they see a black dude rolling in a Cadillac, and, oh, he's selling drugs. Just like you said in your song, I'm a young-ass black with a badass Cadillac. You know, I mean, that's how they view people, and it's a shame, but it's good that people like you, Bushwick, and Case.
Damn, boy, it's refreshing to hear you talk. God damn, I'm sick of these damn journalists that don't know the history.
No, that's what I'm saying, because I read interviews, man, and you know what I'm saying?
Name journalist, let me take that back, because the journalist is somebody who studied the game, that know their shit, that's well respected. These motherfuckers is reporters. They ain't no journalists.
Yeah.
Because anybody can be a reporter, but I think only a few select can be journalists.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of these motherfuckers, they just get like, well, tell me about the new album. I mean, of course we're going to beat it up, but...
Yeah, you just report, what happened.
The real Geto Boy heads, they want to know that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm interviewing Luke in a couple days, man. I'm going to have a field day with him, too.
Yes, sir.
You know, because...
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's crazy, but I want to go way even further than that, man. Before you even came out with Controversy, when the Geto Boys, you know what I'm saying, the first, you know what I'm saying, edition of the Geto Boys was out, what was you doing, man? Was you making music at that time, or?
When what was that?
When the Making Trouble album
put that out?
Yeah.
At that time, I was working for the Houston Chronicle, selling newspapers door to door.
Okay.
That's what I was doing, and I was writing music. I was writing, you know, I was writing in between knocking on doors, and I was competing in talent shows over on the weekends and on Tuesday nights at a place called Joe's.
So you were basically just getting yourself ready?
Yeah, I was just trying to be prepared, man. Just honing my skills.
Now, how did you hook up with Jay?
We had the same barber, and of course we hung out at the same club. You know, the Rhinestone Wrangler was the hottest club in town, so we hung out at the same club. We from the same neighborhood, but we from two different sides of the main street. So Fifth Ward is a huge community. So you can literally live in Fifth Ward all your life and not know somebody.
Yeah.
So, and plus we went to different high schools.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know him, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know him. And so we had the same barber, and my barber knew him. And of course my barber every day is telling me about how, you know, Lil J has this company called Rap-A-Lot, and, you know, I got the skills to write because every week, you know, every Tuesday morning, guys would come in the barbershop and tell him how I cut somebody down, and, you know, in the talent show at the club. So he's an older cat. He's like, yeah, Will. That's how he talk. You know, he's like, you and Jay, y'all need to get together, man, and make a record, man. You know, y'all put that together, man, because he got the money and you got the skills, man. And then what y'all do? Y'all put it together, and then, you know, we'll make a movie about it, and y'all can put me in the movie. Yeah. So that's what he was doing. He kept on talking about it, and finally one day he said, "Man, won't you let me just give your number?" At that time, I was like, "Fuck, I ain't finna, run behind nobody. He know who I am. You know, I'm Willie D. I'm kicking everybody's ass at the club every weekend. If he want to mess with me, shit, he'll come to me. You know, that's my, you know, that was my logic. You know, being arrogant and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and he tell me every time, he said, "Yeah, man, y'all need to get together, man, you know, and man, make that happen, man." And one day he finally told me, "Man, why don't you let me give him your number, man?" And I wrote my number down, and, you know, not expecting anything. And, you know, he called me a couple of days later, and I came in to do an audition for him, and, you know, hey, we made it happen from there. But I initially came in as a solo artist, and he wanted me to write some songs for the new Geto Boys album. They were getting ready to do a new album. He wanted me to write the songs.
So Johnny C. and Box?
Yeah. So he wanted me to write some songs, so I wrote Do It Like a Geo. That was the first song I wrote for Geto Boys.
That was on your album too, I believe, right?
Yeah. Okay. I wrote Do It Like a Geo. I wrote Let a Hoe Be a Hoe. And I wrote a couple other songs. They ain't like the songs, though, because they didn't like me, you know, they didn't like the talking about the women shit, you know, and, you know, breaking the women down. They ain't like that kind of shit.
Oh, that was the ultimate bitch diss.
Yeah. And they didn't like the killing and shit, you know, they didn't like all that, because they had girlfriends and wives, you know, so, you know, they was like, you know, on that family tip shit, you know. Jay gave him an ultimatum. He was like, "Well, I like it, and this is the direction I want to take the group in." So he gave him an ultimatum. "Hey, man, y'all get down with this, man, or shit, you know, go solo or whatever." You know, so that's what they did. You know, so that's when he just, you know, basically reorganized the group. You know, he brought me in as a member, and I still was just doing it just for that album. I didn't plan on making albums this late in the game, still doing albums for Geto Boy.
Yeah.
I was just doing it as a favor for Jay. You know, and when he brought me in, he had tell me about this other cat he had on the south side of town, you know, where everybody know as Scarface now.
Yeah.
And he brought me in and him in, and, you know, that's who the group was supposed to be. And Ray the Red was going to be our DJ. Bill was hanging out, and Jukebox at the time was still going to be in the group. But Jukebox had some personal problems, and he dropped out of the group this first night of recording.
Damn.
And
that would have been hot, too.
Yeah, he dropped out, and so we sitting around the studio, we working, we continue to work. It's just going to be me, Face, as the lyricist. Bushwick is sitting around rapping Public Enemy songs. Yes, the rhythm, the rebel, without a pause, I'm lowering my level. And he just rapping Chuck, all he has got Chuck D lyrics down pat, word for word. So I'm like, damn, yeah, I looked at him, I was like, bing, little light go off. I said, man, that'd be something, man, if somebody saw a midget rapping, or heard a midget rapping. Especially if he was talking about kicking somebody's ass.
Yeah.
So I presented the idea to the rest of the gang, and everybody was kind of like looking like real pessimistic about it. You know, they was like, oh, no, man. So I said, hey, man, just let me write him something, and if he can do it, is he in the group? And everybody still, Jay was like, man, you know, well, let's see, man. Well, Bill, what you think? Bill was like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'll try. I can try. so I went downstairs, wrote Size Ain't Shit. And, you know, about 3 days later, Bill was recording Size Ain't Shit.
Damn.
And we just filled the space in. Everything that Jukebox was going to say, you know, a couple songs that Jukebox already had that he was going to say, we took him off, replaced those lyrics with Bill lyrics, and we wrote some more stuff for Bill. And, hey, that's how Bill got to be a Geto Boy.
See, now, people want to know that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, whatever happened to Reddy Red, man? Because,
Red, once we hit with the Do It Like a G, I mean, grip it on that other level, Reddy Red met a girl who was deep into the church, so that went against her religion. Red figured that he was having a fight. The devil and God was fighting him, having a squabble in his head.
Yeah.
So he dropped out of the group.
Damn. And that was what, about 1990, somewhere around there?
He dropped out in 1991 when we was recording the We Can't Be Stopped album.
Wow. See, that's something too. That's just now this new album. I mean, it's the first time that the three cats was together since '96. What was the atmosphere like with y'all getting back together?
I mean, it definitely wasn't the same because, you know, shit, Face wasn't even in the studio when Bill was recording. I mean, he didn't come to the studio one day when Bill came down. So, you know, Jay wasn't in the studio. You know,
definitely wasn't like the old days.
No, it was not like the old days. Not like it at all. You know, but you know, the thing about it though is that the chemistry was still there. You know, it's like, you know, he do what he do, I do what I do. We put it together, and it's a wrap. Yeah. You know, so when you hear that, when you hear it, you'll never know. Yeah. You know, you'll never know that, you know, Face was never in the studio. What Bill was rapping.
I mean, that's going to be crazy. What's the name of the new album?
I don't know.
You guys haven't decided yet, huh?
I think you just stay decided on a name or what, you know, I didn't, you know, I basically gave a couple of suggestions. They ain't like it, so I ain't give no more. Yeah. You know, that ain't my game. You know, my game is to go in the studio and make a record. And, you know, I mean, I named the last, like, 3 albums, you know. Yeah. I thought I had a good name. I was going to call it, I thought it'd be good to name the album Legends of the Game.
Exactly. Yeah.
They didn't like it, so I was like, well, fuck it. You know, y'all come
up South or some shit.
You know, y'all come up with something better. You know.
Yeah.
So my thing was to go in and make the music and get the shit hot, make it hot, make it consistent with what people expect from the Geto Boys and expect from Willie D.
Yeah.
You know, in particular. You know.
Now, are the fans going to be when they hear this?